Everybody's got a price. It's the Million Dollar Man. Podcast in demand. Understand? Everybody's got a price. Million Dollar Man.
So when Honky is pitched the idea of dropping the belt in front of that huge audience on the main event, he shot it down. As a result, Savage is slotted into the world title picture, which leaves you robbed of your planned championship reign. Honky also claimed that due to this, to this day, you still got a little heat with him. So, Ted,
I mean, the Honky Tonk Man. I've never had heat with him. You know what? It's a business, and the bottom line now, the only thing that could have made heat would have been if something like that had affected my money.
Mm-hmm.
That and that's the deal. That's why Pat Patterson came to me, and I said, and basically was said, these were the original plans, but what if this happened?
Yeah.
I mean, without going into the thing that I found out later about, he said, what if it backfires on you? You don't win, and in your arrogance, create your own title.
Makes perfect sense.
As soon as he said it, I said, that will put more heat on me than winning the title. It will, because it's long term. It's like, it's almost like this arrogant SOB is thumbing his nose at the world title and creating his own title to be defended whenever and wherever he wants. I mean, it's kind of like, what an arrogant SOB, right? Well, that's the whole point. It's the heat. You know what? And I would say I probably had more heat by creating that new title than and like, again, I said earlier, if I had won the title, I'd have had it, but I wouldn't have had it very long, because the title switch is either going to go back to the original champion.
Yes.
Or a lot of times they'll use the intermittent. They'll let a heel win it, so he can pass it on to the new babyface champion,
a transitionary champion. Yeah.
So
no heat.
I don't care. It's about money.
That's it too.
As long as none of that affected my money, it's like, because I was still working on top.
And that's the important thing. And I think that's what a lot of fans tend to lose sight of, is they're like, oh, Ted should have had that world title. It's like Ted got paid because he got to work in some main events and was rubbing up against some of the biggest stars in the industry. So like, if I'm Ted DiBiase, my mindset is the same as yours, man, where I'm just like, yeah, let's just make sure I get some money. I don't care. Like, it's a work. I don't care if I win or lose or whatever happens.
Yeah.
Now let's set the record straight though. Were you ever told straight up the intention is for you to win the world title?
You know what, Marcus? It was so long ago. I mean, I don't believe I was. I really don't believe I was. I assumed it. I mean, I assumed that, like, well, okay, when we go, but again, back to Pat Patterson. And that's what he said to me. I mean, I guess it's a roundabout way of telling me. But he said, everybody's assuming that because of what happened, you're the top heel and everything. It's like it's almost like the smart wrestling fans are calling the shot, and you're gonna win this tournament, and have the run with Hogan, and it backfires on you.
And honestly, end of the day, it's kind of a better story. It really
is. Well, and that's the deal, because guess what? I still worked with Hogan. Not only did I work with Hogan, I worked with Savage, and Andre, and I had tag team matches against Hogan and Savage, and it was all about making the money. So, yeah, I mean, I guess there's a part of me that says, okay, you're a guy who could have been a world champion. Well, a world champion in a make believe story. Now back into the NWA type deal, the NWA world champion. Now he had to be the caliber of a wrestler who could work with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody, he's like as that champion, you're going to go to the territories and you're going to wrestle with the top baby face in that territory, and you got to make him shine. You got to make him look really good, and you got to be able to do that. Well, I get that, but this is a different beast. This is like, wrestling has become family entertainment, almost half-heartedly cartoon. I mean, I'm walking out there, in a suit with a valet, but when the suit comes off, we have the match, and
You're all business.
Again, it's all business.
Yep.
That's it. It's, at the end of the day, it's not about whether I would rather not have the belt and have more money.
That's it too. I would be the highest paid job guy in wrestling if I got that option. Yeah, no problem. Hey, so I did want to ask, and you mentioned it, it's wins and losses. It's a belt that's kind of given to you, etc. I'm curious about your perspective on the Honky Tonk Man kind of refusing to drop the Intercontinental title. I've spoken to Jake about it, and he says that he feels it's kind of the mark of an insecure performer. Like, look, it's a belt, it's a loss in storyline. It doesn't really matter. What do you think about that? Honky was saying that he felt it would hurt him in front of this big TV audience and maybe destroy his credibility for other promotions. What do you think?
I think, I just think that's, he's telling you straight up what he was afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that would be that's a lack of confidence in his own ability. It's kind of like, at the end of the day, it's a work. It's, whether you have that belt or or that title, or whether you don't have that title, it's how you perform in the ring, and how many butts you can put in the seats. So
couldn't agree more.
When it starts affecting that, that's when you got to worry.
Couldn't agree more. And Ted, without any further ado, we're on to the reason why we're here. It's Hogan and Andre on Primetime, and it's a storyline that's considered one of the best in wrestling history. It's available on WWE Network, but I think if our listeners just Googled it, they could probably find the footage pretty easily. This is going to be our second and final clip this week.
Everybody's got a price, it's the $1 million